Folks, I want you to listen to this video. Just a little synopsis. He talks about several things, specifically indemnifying cops, which as far as people of color are concerned, is a clear and present danger. Because what that means is all the prejudices that cops have intrinsically, that they will likely use it. They don't have it right now, and still it's a problem, but they'll use it now. And the other issue is to simply make immigrants a problem that they aren't. I want you to listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
Before we even do anything, they're going to leave the country because they're going to understand that. I will immediately restore and expand the Trump travel ban on entry from terror-plagued countries, and I will implement strong ideological screening for all illegal immigrants. If you hate America, if you want to abolish Israel, if you sympathize with jihadists, then we don't want you in our country. We don't want you. We will restore law and order to our communities, and I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical, out-of-control, fake, crooked prosecutor in America for their illegal, racist, and reverse enforcement of the law. I am also going to indemnify all police officers. This is a big thing, and it's a brand new thing, and I think it's so important. I'm going to indemnify through the federal government all police officers and law enforcement officials throughout the United States from being destroyed by the radical left for taking strong actions against crime. Our law enforcement, our police officers are forced not to do anything when they want to. They really want to solve the problem. They're told not to do it, under the threat of losing their pension, losing their house, losing their family. That's what's happening to them. They're losing everything. They're told not to do anything. We have to support our police. Our police know everything that has to be done. We're not going to allow anything bad to happen to them again. They have been totally put aside. If you remember, in Minneapolis, where they took over the police station. They took it over and they burned it down. By the way, what happened to those people? Are those people in jail with the J6 hostages? What happened to those people, come to think of it? They're not in jail with the J6 hostages. I don't call them prisoners, I call them hostages. They're hostages. In addition, we will take over our horribly run Washington, D.C. and clean up, renovate, and rebuild our capital city so that it is no longer a nightmare of murder and crime, but rather it will become the most beautiful capital anywhere in the world.
Are you kidding me? Indemnify cops? That puts, look, for those people of color who somehow decide now that it is okay for me to support this guy, all I'm going to tell you is, remember, you guys are not Oprah, Beyonce, or Selena, or any one of these folks. You are you. And while those people supersede who they are, you don't. So specifically, the first group of people that need to realize that voting for Donald Trump is equivalent to voting for their potential murder by cop, and I'm not saying that lightly, they should remember that when these cops stop you, they don't check to see if you're a Republican. They don't check to see if you are a good citizen that kind of appeases them. They just see who you are. So any one of you, and I'm speaking specifically to my people of color brothers and sisters, a vote for Donald Trump is not only a vote against yourself, it's a vote against your daughter, your mother, your father, your son and everybody else, because you have put their lives on the line. An identified police force nationally is equivalent to having an assassinating force out there. And that is not conjecture. That is fact. Now, let's get a little bit further, folks. In addition to that speech, what Donald Trump attempts to do is make immigrants the boogie persons. He, of course, doesn't tell you that all the cities that these red state governors have sent these people to, their crime rates didn't go up. They went down. So what do? They sensationalize those few crimes that a few thugs that came from overseas do and make it seem like the norm. Well, I could do the same thing in Panama. Panama just went through a process where we shut down a copper mine. But in the process of doing that, an American citizen who lives in Panama was driving through the Carretera Panamericana, the highway that goes from Panama to, through Central America to the United States. He was driving down there, and he was so mad at the people who were blocking the highway because of the mines. And he came out, opened his car, shouted a few things, and popped a cap in two people where he killed two teachers. Nobody gone out there and said, "Oh, all those American immigrants are criminals. They're thugs. They're gun carrying thugs." We didn't do that. We understood that that particular American citizen was a criminal, a thug. But that's not what Donald Trump wants you to do here in America. He wants you to believe that all those immigrants that come over, including the few that would commit crimes which are not even near the crime rate that we have in America proper, somehow I'm going to protect you against that. If he really wanted to protect you, he would go ahead and have good gun control that saves lives. Because if you want to know who's doing all the killing, all the places where we have loaded up with guns, all the places where guns are easier to use, that's where you have the maximum amount of murders. That's where you have the maximum amount of suicides. So it's not the people of color that Donald Trump is making the boogie person. It's not the immigrants that Donald Trump is making the boogie person that's causing your problems. It is the policies of conservatives by loading up with guns. It's the policies of conservatives that keep despair in the lives of people by not supporting the policies that move them forward. And that is the message that we have to get through to those people. There are going to be the sycophants that are not going to be, that we cannot control, that we cannot get to their minds. But there are people that see that we are in a problematic state, that we have a problem. And there are people honestly looking for solutions, and they believe, because they don't have alternate information, what the charlatan Donald Trump is saying. It is those that we have to reach with civility and respect. We got a lot of work to do. Let's get it done.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.